Today is August 6th, 2013, 9 a.m., and we're sitting with Rose Hutton and John Allen.
Sometimes it takes a long time to turn on. We're not sure why. All right, yeah. So if you don't mind, starting with where you're from, we can go from there.
From before we moved to Craig?
Yeah, sure.
Steamboat Springs.
Okay.
That's where I went to school at.
Okay. School in Steamboat?
Mm-hmm.
All through high school?
Yes.
Had you been to Craig before you moved here?
Pardon?
Had you been to Craig before you moved here?
No.
No, okay. So...
My father wouldn't let us come to Craig.
Oh, why is that?
Well, I guess we were teenagers and he just felt like we didn't need to go to Steamboat or we didn't need to go to Oak Creek for basketball games, football games, or anything. I don't know. It was just, small town stuff.
Okay.
And, but no.
Okay. So, why did you move to Craig then?
Well, when my husband came home from the service in 1964, he spent 7 years in the medical part of the Navy, U.S. Navy, and then when he was discharged, my parents had already moved to Craig. He was a section foreman here in Craig.
Mm-hmm.
So they were already living in Craig. So anyway, he he wanted to know what he was going to do after he got home, after being in the service, 7 years. I said, well, you've had several years of medical training. I said, why don't you take some college degree or something and see what you want to do. He did try to get into engineering when he went into the service. He was only about 17 when he joined the service.
Mm-hmm. And
he didn't have enough mathematics there. So they put him into the medical part. And so anyway, he went to CU for probably a year. I don't remember now. But his first love was electronics. So when we come home for, I think it was in the fall maybe, or spring break, he decided, he happened to see in the paper that Forrest Conroe had a little repair shop, electronic, it wasn't electronic, what was it, just a repair shop for household things, and so he contacted him, and we bought it.
Okay.
Bought his business for $2,000.
Okay.
We went in the hole right off the bat.
Okay.
And that's where it all started. We came over here in 1956, started running the business.
And how did Craig compare to Steamboat?
Well, Steamboat was definitely always a, what would you say, recreational place. They let us out for skiing and, that kind of things. And, at that time, it was just a beautiful, small town,
Right.
We went to school with kids that were later on in the Olympics. Peter and Buddy Warner, maybe you heard about him.
Yeah.
And classmates in school. So.
Wow. And Craig was different.
Well, it's always been more of a business town, hasn't it, John? Yeah, it's been a good business town. It's had its boom and busts, but it always grew very slow, not like Steamboat did.
Right.
It's been the work town for.
Pardon?
Say it's been the workforce for Steamboat.
Yes,
mostly.
yes, it has. It still is.
Still is.
Okay. So it was small when you came.
Craig.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was about 8,000.
5,000.
5,000.
Okay. Okay. And what was the initial goal for the business? What did you initially want to do?
At that time, it was just make a living for the family.
Okay.
And I really don't know whether you ever planned on going into any further than run the repair shop. But it boomed at that time, didn't it? 'Cause right after that, two-way communication come in here. I mean, it went crazy
When
for a while.
when I started working for Les is when we started the two-way communications.
Yeah, and it just went crazy. And then Les had to quit working on TV sets. And, you know, he did that for a while. But the shop got so overloaded with TV that you
When I
guys
first
couldn't
started
move.
working for him, we were doing radio and TV, and he was trying to take care of the TV translators too, and then
Yeah.
the two-way radio business took off. It just, like she said, it just kind of exploded. The two-way radio business took over everything. And
Okay, so that was the big money maker for a while.
Not really.
TV translators.
Yeah. Well, for us, you know, I think they started paying Les $200 a month. What's his name? The engineer from,
Cecil.
Yeah,
Cecil
they were
Construction.
paying him $600 a month, and I think Cecil was paying Les $200 to take care of it. And then he was gone all the time, so we finally said, hey, we're doing all the work, we're doing all the traveling. Why are we only getting $200? Well, then they decided they just turned it all over on the radio to let the local guys take care of it.
Wow.
So, and then after that, it went to, it sounded like a lot of money, $3,400 for a month for taking care of all of it, until it stayed that way till they shut it down. And it sounds like a lot of money, but he became a county employee for a very short time. But I didn't feel comfortable about that because we would take two children, Les worked on Saturdays, Sundays, whatever, and he would take them to the beaver dams to fish while he was working.
Mm-hmm.
And we had stopped and got some gas from the county tanks, and I said, no, this is not going to work, Les. I said, I don't think we need to be a county employee because we're going to do this all ourselves and pay for our own expenses, and we did. And so out of $3,400 a month, your insurance was the biggest thing. State comp and liability. Your liability insurance for the county was pretty expensive.
Right.
And so we got our own trucks and our own equipment, except for the big test equipment, and then I don't know exactly how they did that.
Okay.
The funds that they made from.
Frequency cutters and that sort of thing.
So what did the work entail necessarily? Upkeep of?
Yeah, and the old translator systems were tube type, and so they required a lot of maintenance to maintain the tubes.
Okay.
And of course, most of them were on mountaintops, so they were susceptible to lightning,
Okay.
power surges.
A lot of the roads weren't really roads, they were Indian trails, I said.
They were what?
They were Indian trails, they weren't really roads.
Oh,
So
okay.
we had to go like Juniper Mountain.
Some of the mountaintops in the wintertime you snowshoed into, or later on we took snowmobiles.
Yep.
It was still hard to get
Quite a
to.
bit later on.
Okay.
Wow.
So it's hard to get to these towers.
Most of them are on mountaintops.
Right.
And Les and Dan went to one when they started looking for new sites, and they went over to Blue Mountain. I don't know if Les ever told you. And that might have been when the United States had him put an alarm over here. So and I don't know what the alarm was for, in case I guess we were being attacked or what. I don't know. But it would start screaming, whatever. It was up on Juniper Mountain. Cedar Mountain.
Cedar Mountain.
Yeah. And, but anyway, Dan, my son, and Les went up to Blue Mountain to look for a site, and they saw two men coming towards them. They each had a pistol. And Dan said, Dad reached down underneath one of the bunks in the trailer and pulled out a gun himself, and I didn't know Les even had guns. So he did. I just found this out this last week. And he said, they were just checking to see what we were doing there, because there were some towers up there. Who it belonged to, Forest Service, government, I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, they got to talking, so they found out, well, they were there to check for signals for TV, so it was all right. But that was the first time they ever run into something that could have been scary. So, anyway.
Wow.
But
So
they didn't put the site there at all. They
Right.
went out and they were just checking to see for signals
Okay.
from Denver.
Did you work on establishing any new sites then?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. So that was
Numerous new sites.
numerous new sites. Okay.
Dan was mentioning to me last night, I think there were a lot of, oh boy, I didn't believe that there were that many sites that you guys worked on.
Pardon me?
The different sites you guys worked at.
A lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Wasn't like we were right.
Almost any tall mountain around had a television translator site on it.
Okay. But the one, what's the one out here we just went to?
Cedar Mountain?
Cedar Mountain.
There's one on Cedar Mountain,
There's one on
there was some on Cedar Mountain, there was some on Sand Rock,
Oh,
some on
Oh.
Juniper Mountain,
okay.
Juniper
some on
Mountain.
Baker's Peak,
So literally all around.
all of the high mountains.
Okay.
They had a repeater coming from Santoy Mountain. Well, it was headed on Walton Mountain first, didn't they?
Yeah, that's where the
And that's
signal
when
came
they
from
took, yeah,
originally.
they took that down and went to Santoy after that. And that's what they were looking for before, when they got stopped by the two guys with the gun. They were on their way to Santoy. And that's when they decided to go on over to Santoy Mountain. That's over in Grand County, isn't it? Above Kremling, you know where Kremling is?
Mm-hmm.
It was above there somewhere. And, so then it went from there to Rabbit Ears Pass.
Walton Mountain.
And then, that was after we took Walton Mountain. And then, from there to Storm Mountain and Steamboat, skiers. And then from there to Sand Rock. And then from there to Cedar Mountain. And then Juniper Mountain.
Baker's Peak.
Baker's Peak, yeah, that went up in 1960. The lady there told me. That was over in Wyoming.
Okay.
One of their commissioners asked if this county would help them get TV there, so
Right.
they were still on until we shut it off.
Okay. Okay. And how rapidly did all this expand with TV coming in and two-way radio and you needed all the different equipment?
Took a number of years.
Yeah, when we first moved here, there was only two two-way radios, and Texaco was out there, and they were the only two. And then after that, it just seemed like it just moved.
Texaco and one of the local ranchers had a repeater up on Cedar Mountain.
So anyway,
Okay.
Then the oil field and the ski industry and all of those came in.
Then after the main tall big ones we got out of us, then they started putting them in the small other towers to hit the smaller, like Hamilton and Maybell, and we put them on. Usually ranchers give us permission to put the antennas on their properties and whatever, and it just seemed like it just went out all over the county.
It was spread out all over the county.
Okay. All right. So what's on this timeline that we have here?
This is maybe the first meeting when they had the people working on it that decided they were going to need some help. So that's when they went to the county commissioners to, because I think at first guys were using their own nuts and bolts.
Do you mind if I read this?
No,
Okay.
it's yours, you can have it.
So, October 4th, 1960, the Television Association for the Yampa Valley discussed possibility of county financing an operation for television for the remainder of 1960 and 61. The board agreed to levy a tax against the property of Moffat County to raise about $10,000 to finance the installation of additional repeater stations in the county and cover the cost of maintenance of the system. So this is a big deal.
Well, actually, when they first, before they even went to the county, they had people paying, donating $1.50 a month towards it.
Okay.
And that was what, now in Oak Creek, I don't know if you know where Oak Creek is, on this side of Steamboat, they put put it on their electricity bill, so everybody paid it. We found out here that people were getting TV, but they weren't putting their money, helping us pay. So that's when they went into a mill levy, which was fair, and anybody that had a home that was worth $100,000 or whatever, I think they still paid that. The mill levy, was it about $1.50 for most taxpayers? Yes.
Okay, so they raised taxes for the installation of repeater stations for television.
Yeah.
And everyone had free access to it, as long as you had a television?
Yes.
Okay. Oh,
As long as they had a TV set.
okay. How popular were TVs in Craig at the time? How many houses would you say had a TV in them?
Probably at least 75% of them, I mean, we did.
Oh, so it was definitely widespread.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That was the only way to get TV here.
Right.
And news. Big thing was news.
Right.
This lady, the historian that sent this from Baggs, Wyoming, said that Ray Lehman had a furniture store here in Craig. And she said his business there boomed. Everybody was buying TV sets from Wyoming. And he said his business just boomed.
Okay.
You got the three major channels to start with, ABC, CBS, and NBC.
Right.
Okay.
And we had to get permission from the stations in Denver.
You get permission from the
And they all-
stations and
yeah,
an
we
FCC
had-
license.
Yes, and they were
broadcast.
all FCC licensed. I wanted to bring one of those. Do you think we could find them? We have
Some of
stacks
that-
of this stuff,
some
and
of
we
that's
closed down
in
the shop. I can't get around my garage
Okay.
because of boxes and
Yeah.
stuff.
So how many channels were there when you first moved here?
Oh,
3.
One.
Just the 3? Oh, 0?
because they had the first antennas up on Cemetery Hill.
Uh-huh.
East of town. And I remember Les putting a TV set in our shop window, and it was a snowstorm, but he had it going, and people would stop and watch it. It was a snowstorm, like they was, the signal wasn't that strong coming from where they had it, but that's where it first went.
Okay. Okay.
And I might add that, I don't know whether you remember this, John, but we had the owner of the cable company, Denver, come over and stand on Sand Rock with the guys watching Les and Cliff up there, working on towers. He just wanted to know, how are these people bringing TV over here?
Right. Okay.
Same thing that you are.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they were curious.
Yes.
Now, this is the next event on your timelines, the appointment of the TV board, Clifford Kester, Kenneth Foster, and Louis Yost.
I think that Kenny Foster, he was on mechanic, I think, but it was Lou Yost,
Yeah.
of course, and Kenny, Cliff Kester, they were the two, I think, main ones. And then later we got Bob Esty and, who was the other one?
I was trying to think of him. He used to come in quite regular.
And what was the purpose of this board?
Well, when Les needed something, and, and he told them, he'd meet with them and tell them, well, this is the next step, we've got to have this,
Okay.
and we need more funding. And
Okay.
it was beginning to cost the guys, money out of their own pockets, gas and everything. So anyway, the board was there to help get funding. To meet
Okay.
with the county commissioners, go to them, discuss what was happening, and then they would okay it. I guess they
Okay.
always okayed it, We had some county commissioners like Sam, what's his name? Sam Steele.
Sam Steele.
And several of the other ones. They were so, they were really eager to help.
Uh-huh. And how did business expand over the years?
You mean for the TV transmitters?
For that in the shop, just in general, people.
Oh, the shop, good. I think
You moved from Main Street. We quit doing television and radio repair.
Yeah.
Moved from Main Street and bought your new shop over on Russell Street
yeah.
and expanded the two-way radio business.
Well, about what year was that? About what year do you think that would be?
The two-way radio. Oh, I would say probably about the same time that the TV took
Yeah,
off.
probably in the late 70s, early
Late
60s.
Oh, the late
Probably
70s.
earlier than that.
Okay.
Seems to me like we started doing TV.
It might have been early 70s, yeah, probably early 70s, yeah.
I think, you know, the police departments and...
See, I didn't get out of school until 1961.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I went to electronics school and came back and got my job with Les after that. So it would have been either in the late 60s or early 70s.
Okay.
I think the police department and those people happened before, I don't know.
And what happened during the boom? Did business change at all?
Well, it just kept growing, didn't
The
it?
two-way radio business expanded exponentially because of the boom, the oil and the coal.
Okay.
Coal, yes. Again, coal brought the train over, and that also brought TV and everything else over.
So the boom was good for business.
It was very good, and then we had the big uranium boom over here.
Oh, that's right.
And that's when a lot of businesses sort of got hurt, because I remember buying more equipment and stuff. And before you had everything paid off for, well, it went down too. They quit getting uranium sent to...
And the uranium plant shut down.
Yeah. And it took a while, but things picked up again, you know.
Okay.
Every once in a while, we still hear, well, the uranium is going to come back. They're going to start. I don't know what it is or not, but people probably would like it.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause Les was only about 27 when we moved here, and we were still a kid in high school, right? I said, when we came over, Les was about 27 years old. So you must have been about, what, 17?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Okay?
Now, it says renew TV license with Federal Communications in February of 1967. Were you getting a lot of more stations over the years?
Yes.
Okay.
And then after they brought, after it went satellite, people wanted better signals, better TV,
Right.
and we, the taxpayers, are usually at fault for things going higher, paying more taxes because we want more.
Right.
We like it, we want more.
Okay. And you were still in business when this transition happened to satellite?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, probably the channel that made Les the happiest and most proud, and maybe you know this, was when he was able to bring the educational channel over, Channel 6 up Denver.
Channel 6.
At that time, it was Channel 6.
Okay. Is that PBS?
Yes.
Public radio.
Okay.
Yeah.
And,
Public television.
in fact, we still had, even after we closed down the TV, we had the young policeman come over, and he said, I can't afford, my children can't watch TV, and they watch the educational channel. And Les
And you
said,
had
well,
some
I'm
FM.
sorry, it's done with. The county can't afford to carry it anymore.
Right.
You had some FM channels come in, so FM radio channels come in too, which were...
Yeah, we had 6 channels when we shut down. And I think we had one businessman say, you'll never get the educational channel over here on satellite. But we did.
Okay.
At Les and John, if they decided they were going to do something, it got done.
Okay.
Well, Les decided he wanted to do something, it happened.
Oh.
And
I'll just help him.
Yeah.
This is on here, the 8th of February, 1999. There was a discussion regarding TV future, obsolete translators, and moving to dish and digital TV. Is that what we're talking about now?
Yeah.
Okay. So in 99, you still had the business?
It was 99 what?
99, you still had the business?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I guess we did, yeah.
Okay. And what was the problem with the obsolete translators? They were just simply were obsolete, or?
Each translator only would broadcast a single television channel.
Oh.
And so if you wanted more than one channel, you had to put in another translator.
Right.
And so consequently, the cost of the translators was pretty high.
Right.
And cable digital TV would carry more than one channel.
Okay. So did it help, or did it help business that was happening?
Well,
We never did get into the satellite.
No, you didn't get it.
No.
Oh, okay.
We moved to the two-way radio primarily from
Right.
from that point.
Okay. And how much longer did you have the business after 1999?
well, let me see. We still had it. We had it for 50 years.
Wow.
56. And
So
I
2006.
couldn't find that. Yeah. And the gentleman that was interviewing us on our 50 years in business, he got to asking less about the translators, and I think he got more interested in the TV translators because he was asking questions about all the equipment that they used and whatever.
Okay. Was there any particular reason for selling the business?
For selling the business?
Did you sell the business?
No,
or
we did not.
Okay.
The gentleman in Steamboat that had, in fact, they wanted to take over the TV translators years ago, because he was the repairman in Steamboat that Walker County kept, on. And so we're the ones that put it in from day one. And in fact, we've got a letter here from Mesa County. Grand Junction. They wanted to come over and sort of like the train. There was other people that wanted us to form committees and businesses, and and come over and let one big company run everything. But we were already in. What year was that? We were already going strong, so I could see why they count. And that letter was to one of our county commissioners. He said, no, why do we're going to keep what we got going. But anyway, to get back to the question you asked, the guy that owned communication business in Steamboat, he told us he was going to move to Craig. And with my husband, who was already 80 years old, was having heart problems and health problems. So one day, and we noticed the coal mine business had gone down and everything else, that they were having problems. That was, I can't remember what year all this happened, but anyway, I told Les, we're closing the doors. And he didn't say anything, because he knew that his heart was failing. And it was downhill after that, after he got home, and it wasn't fair. When you won't retire, you want to do what you want to do and spend time with your grandchildren.
Right.
And he couldn't do much anymore.
Okay.
But he loved what he was doing.
Right.
Les was very good about it. The TV translators seemed like had a habit of going out on a weekend when some big game was happening. And of course, everybody got upset if they couldn't watch the game. So I know Les spent many a Sunday or Saturday and Sunday working on the TV to get it back in shape and get it working.
Right.
And that was the thing. He was a subcontractor for the county for what, 20, 30 years? I don't remember now when they put it down. But anyway, but it meant traveling to steamboats, Elk River, up all those places. And those little communities, you know, they really depended on TV for the news. And I tell you what, if the morning news, what was it called? By golly, if it wasn't on the air, you bet you were going to get a telephone call. Because people get up and say, well, we listen to the news there, you know, on, darn it, I can't remember the name of the station.
We had a very favorite lady in the area here, and I won't mention the name, that would call any time there was any kind of problem at all, and you could count on the calls coming in immediately.
Yep. And our county commissioners at the time were they worked very close to the city and did everything they could to help upgrade Moffat County, you know.
Right.
And then I think we lost the TV because the county had to spend money on a very expensive road from Meeker to Maybell to Meeker.
They put in the... They were spending money on the cable system that was coming up from Grand Junction.
For the cell phone business. They bring cell phones in.
Right.
And now it's internet, you know.
So that kind of diverted funds away from
and that's
what you
why
guys are
they
doing.
decided, well, now there's cable, you know, you can get TV, and there's dishes now, or satellite dishes, or whatever. So I think people just had to grow with the rest of the world, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So we knew eventually it was going to go down.
Yeah.
And we would call every year. I would call the county commissioners. Well, how much longer do you think this is going on? Because we had to prepare ourselves, you know, and decide what we were going to do. That when it happened kind of fast, and I don't think they really wanted to get rid of it, but they had to. And we had one lady that wanted to file for a grant. But I think by that time, Les was...
Too late.
He was through, and probably you were too. Well, you were already working.
I was gone.
Had kids in college and whatever, So it was... but I think probably...
I remember we went to that county commissioners meeting and come back rather upset that they just decided...
They did it, they didn't
and everybody
know.
had a satellite dish, so they didn't need the TV translators anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had TV since.
No.
So, yeah.
What happened to all those translators then? They're still there, or they've been taken down?
I'm not sure.
Well, they got somebody to take all the equipment out of the sheds. You know, we had people in bags. They were the greatest bunch of people that when we put TV up there, and, you know, they asked the county to help them, and so they were there to help carry stuff up the mountain, up to Baker's Peak. And one of them even brought an antique stove for less if he had to burn, if he got stuck up there some winter, he'd have heat up there. And it disappeared. When they were unloading everything, I asked, or when the county sent their people up to get the equipment and things, I asked for that stove. I'd like to return it back to the people that donated it. It disappeared. It's an antique.
Wow.
Yeah. And anyway, and in Steamboat, we worked with Morris Selby. He was a rancher, and Forrest Warren, and all those people that worked up towards the park up there. What do they call it? Seed House and all those places. Up to Steamboat Lake, up the Elk River Road. And a lot of people had problems getting TV up there. And Les did say, do not use rabbit ears. You have to use, you know, and some people insisted on using rabbit ears. So, and of course, the signals are weaker, you know, on rabbit ears. And, but anyway, those people helped get it up into the valleys and Steamboat. And so we had a lot of good people that donated time. And Cogtail, where Hayden, we had to do that to get TV in Hayden. We didn't have a TV shack. We had a TV shack there. But you'll never know, guess what it was. Somebody donated an outhouse. It was a two-holer. I said, Les, how did you use that for your equipment and stuff? He was laughing. He said, we just put boards across it, and he put the equipment on it. It worked out fine. It was very cheap.
Wow. Very efficient.
Yeah.
For cost.
Yes. We didn't bother anybody for
Some of the TV sheds were just basically an outhouse on top of a
Yeah.
mountaintop.
Yes.
The one on Walton was rather interesting. It was a larger building, but it was used by two-way radio equipment as well as TV. But it had a culvert that went up through the ceiling, and in the wintertime the snow was deep enough that you had to climb down through that culvert to
Oh
get
my
into that
God.
building. And the building was totally covered with snow.
Wow. Wow.
I know one night that Leston get home from Bakersfield, Wyoming. 6:30 in the morning, I was walking the floor, and I thought, well, I gotta call somebody. So I called one of the ranchers, Elton Galloway. And he said, Rose, he said, I can kind of see light up there. He said, I can see that they've got TV back on the air, and I'll go looking for Les. So he got another rancher, and they went up looking for him. Snowcap broke down. And he'd already walked about, I think we said 17 miles or 7 miles, whatever. But he always made friends with the sheep herders, too. He always took cigarettes to them or candy or something. And I said, why do you do that? And he said, because if I ever get lost or get stuck up there, I'm going to depend on somebody to help me get out. So he was a friend of the sheep herders.
Right.
Yeah, sheep herder
Right.
camps.
Wow.
So it was interesting. A lot of hard work.
Right.
He didn't spend a whole lot of time with his two children, but when he did, he was usually working, but it was fun because he took them with him.
Right.
And now Dan's doing the same thing, only with internet. But anyway, he's trying to get internet into Craig that's decent, you know, fast internet, right? You know, he applied for a grant and he didn't get it. Somebody from the Eastern Slope got it,
Oh.
and they're having struggles.
Right.
They were supposed to put the infrastructure for the schools and all the government buildings. And I don't know whether they've got that done yet or not, but they're still struggling.
But that's the
Not
next big
completely.
step.
Pardon?
But that's the next big step, is the internet.
The next big step to bring it in here, well, probably money.
That right.
But with the infrastructure, most of the infrastructure, I guess, is the end, isn't it? Is that what you understand? Yeah.
Okay.
And, so then, if the schools want it, or the county buildings, the government buildings, because that was where it was, why they got the stimulus money, was to bring it into the schools, and it was not going to cost them anything. But it is, because the infrastructure's there now. If they want fast internet, broadband internet, they have to pay for it. So I don't know what that's going to cost them.
What it costs you.
So, and they wanted Dan to help
I'm not
sell.
sure all of the structure is in place, but some of it is.
Well, and Strata is involved now.
Pardon?
See, they called Dan Strata. They were the first ones that brought the internet office over on the first.
They're involved now?
I guess they are. Because he called Dan from Utah last week. Wanted to talk to him. I don't know. It's a long, long, long way to temporary. when you don't live in New York,
Yeah.
California.
Right.
We're still in the western United States. We're
Yeah.
still the old west.
And I want you to know that if you come to Craig, we don't have train service. We don't have our airlines only go short. I don't know where, but anyway, we don't have bus lines. So if you come here, you're stuck. Is that right?
We do have bus service.
Yeah. For a while, we didn't even have that. So.
We didn't have bus service for a while. We do have an airline that comes in, I think, once or twice a day into Hayden.
And they can have some people. Our airport, what do you call it? Runway is short, I guess.
Yeah, the
There's
one
some
in Craig
places
is short
can't
for the big airlines.
Oh, okay.
The regional airport in Hayden takes care of air traffic, and of course in the wintertime they put on 2 or 3 more flights for steamboat for the ski area.
Right.
And
What airline is that?
I just read recently that they contract with Alaska Airlines to go into Hayden.
Alaska.
I think it's United Express that comes in.
Okay.
And somebody's been putting up cell towers all over.
Oh, I know. I think that's Union.
Just
And no
recently.
matter what they do, cell phone service here is bad, I think.
Not very good.
Yeah, you're right.
In places.
Just the same way as it was with TV, right?
Yeah.
They're going to have to wait till it comes.
You still have to have a signal
Right.
to make it work.
Okay. Do you have any additional stories or anything else you want to just kind of add about Craig to kind of close it?
About Craig?
Or the business, either way.
Well, I think that, Craig, there was a reason that Les got out of the service and we stopped in Craig, that we came back to Craig. My folks were already here. He was a section foreman here in Craig. And he was here when the trains quit, too, so, but he was ready to retire anyway. But anyway, no, Craig has always been a pretty active community, right, John? And very busy. I think the schools are great, you know. My daughter just retired from the school system. She's been with the county superintendents for years, school superintendent. She was ready to quit. Now she's ready to travel. And and John sent 2 young men off to college, and they're all very...
Craig's been a good place to bring up a family.
Yes, it's
a friendly
great.
town.
Yes, it is a family, definitely a family town. And maybe we don't have all the things that you have in the city, but we have plenty to do if you want to.
Right.
In fact, I'm playing in a golf tournament tomorrow. I have not played golf in 3 or 4 years since we retired and Les got so sick. I couldn't believe we couldn't leave him for very long.
Right.
People say there's nothing to do at Craig, but you find a weekend that has something that isn't happening, and you're going to be lucky.
Yeah.
You can't sit and wait for it to come to you. There's plenty of things to join and go and see and whatever.
Right.
Like last weekend was the balloon festival, and there was also 2 or 3 other things happening.
And if we first started out with 6 balloons or something, now we have 15 that come over.
Yeah.
So it keeps growing.
Right.
And our hunting. I come home from church Sunday, I'm not kidding you. You know, we have a overhang, a porch-like thing on the front of our house. And we had a battle with the neighborhood's cat the night before, beating up Dan's cat. And so I was kind of leery walking around the corner because I didn't know whether this cat was going to attack me, because it did the night before. And it was a 4-point buck in our porch, right up at the front door. I looked around the corner, and I said, are you going to move so I can get in? And you know, I have a bad habit. I did give it a little deer last winter. So the winter was so hard on our animals. And they were hungry. You could see horses even digging deep to get food. And I took an apple out to them. You know, and if I got caught doing that, I would be fined.
Oh, really?
Yes. But I was also telling them that they ate all my trees, so I've been feeding them regardless whether it's on or whatever. My flowers.
Right.
So anyway, but we have three bucks that come down the alley at our house. Come through the yard. They drink water because we have a little fountain. And they usually don't bother you. But it was just kind of surprised to see this 4-point buck in my porch.
You can almost see more deer in town than you can out in the country.
Yes.
Yeah, we've seen quite a few.
Yes, you have to be careful, don't you? And if I had one go run by the kitchen window this morning, and I said, Dan, something passed real fast here. I don't know if it was a child or somebody on a bike. It was the baby deer. And they play, there's an empty lot between the nursing home and our house, and they get out there and romp and run and whatever. That, yes, we have lots of deer and everything.
Wow.
And I think they just named Moffett County as
Fall of the year, it's hard to get a motel room here because of the hunters. But, I mean, elk hunting, deer hunting, the capital of the world, basically.
Interesting.
If you go high enough, and I was telling them, these balloons that were flying over Sunday and Saturday, I said, I bet they're checking on me, because we have a herd of elk out towards the coal mines. They stay there. I don't know why, but they sort of stay around the coal mines.
Oh.
Maybe because the guys feed them to give them apples.
Maybe.
Anyway, I don't know, but you have to be careful when you're driving at night out towards between Craig and Meeker.
Yeah.
And it's scary. It's part of our country.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you definitely do have to be careful. Well, thank you.
Anything else you need?
No, that's good. That's really
Is that
good.
what you wanted?
Yes, it
Yeah.
was.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
You bet.
Yeah.
What?
Ingrid,
You wanted to add something?
Ingrid, this,
Oh, Ingrid Esty, Bob Esty, on the board of directors.
Okay.
And I think it's ESTEY.
Okay.
And he worked like blessed.
Bob
Died of a heart attack.
on the board,
Yeah,
for
he
the
was
television
yes,
board, yeah.
on the television board. He was on
Okay.
the television board.
For how
One of the
long?
original.
Oh.
Well, till they started resigning, after we didn't need a board, when everything was pretty well built up, the board started, like Cliff, Kester,
Mhm.
Mr.
Lou Yost
Kester
and Cliff
Lou Yost,
Kester came
yeah.
in a lot, and Bob Esty occasionally
That
too.
we did mention the old guy from Steamboats, that he was helped bring it in here. He and I don't know how he and Cliff ever became friends, but they're the ones that sort of got the ball rolling. So I don't know who they talked to or whatever, but after Leslie came in here, the young kid, he was the one that sort of took over.
Right.
But I thought it was nice that it always takes somebody to get the ball rolling,
Right.
right?
Right.
And that's all it took.
Okay.
Two old guys. And then the same thing in Steamboat, and then all along.
Mm.
In fact, when we shut it down, we didn't realize this, but Summit County, over in Aspen and all those places, they were getting some of that signal from the backside. And when we shut it down, they wanted to know why we shut it down.
Oh.
So I said, it was helping a lot of people.
Should have got money from
Right.
them, we would've kept it
Yeah,
going.
we did. They weren't going to donate to Moffat County.
Right.
So anyway.
So Craig was like the model, the front runners for all this technology and so.
There's always takes somebody to get started with it.
Right.
Whether it's a mistake or accidental or whatever.
Les,
And so
Les
many-
engineered most of it, and Cecil helped him some, I think, too.
And he was a pilot, and I went with him. They were going to out-of-town translator meetings to keep track of what was going on in other states, to keep track of what's going on. And I went with him once, and that was to this guy just had a small plane, and did his own piloting. And he's gone too. That's the problem. People who really should have helped us are gone. Passed away. That he brought it into Paonia over by Grand Junction,
Mm.
and so Cecil Whitchurch. But anyway, he stayed with us for a while till we got it off and got it going.
Right.
And they let him go, which was fine with him. But one meeting we went to, I think it was in Montana. It was raining so hard, and it was a single plane, little plane. And he says, "Don't worry about it." He says, "Most of your plane wrecks are human error." He said, "And I don't do that."
Okay.
So, anyway, that was the only one I went to with him.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.